Hello again guys and welcome back to the Midnight Oil Racing League. We are in round 8, this is race 2, we're at Interlagos, so the grid once again from qualifying. Thomas lines up on pole with Wayne G in 2nd place, we've got Ice Chan in 3rd, Mawson is there in 4th, Blood Diamond in 5th, Vexed is in 6th, we have Dan Bailey in 7th, Pickles in 8th, Clutch is 9th, Asbo is in 10th. So without further ado, let's get into this second race and the final race of the evening. Let's go. Bit of a premature klaxon there. It's going to sound once again. There we go, we are off. So Chan getting a really good getaway in the background. I think Mawson getting a good getaway there as well. And Dan Bailey goes around the outside there of Vex. Vex gets forced to the outside by, I'm not sure who that was actually. Vex coming back along the inside of Dan Bailey there. So they're having a battle in the background. Thomas has lost a position to Mawson. Mawson's up to 3rd place. We've got Ice Chan on the back of Wayne G. And then Vexed has got caught on the inside here. We're going to have a look. Oh, and it looks like Vexed could not see his braking mark. We're going to have another little analyse of this situation here. So Vexed, obviously defending to Blood Diamond and Dan Bailey. We're going to get a better camera view. So there we go. So Vexed finding himself on the inside. So Dan Bailey, he can't move over anymore because Dan Bailey's there, and he's also got a car trying to come up the inside now here as well. Can't see the braking marker. Should have started braking where Dan Bailey's brakes came on. Obviously braked ever so slightly later, knew he wasn't going to get the car stopped, had to try and take the escape road. Almost murdering Mawson at the same time. There's a tiny bit of contact there. Mawson doesn't come off too bad. Vex completely takes himself out of the race. Mawson does lose a couple of positions though, does get forced offline, but that, as they say, was that. And that is, yeah, unfortunate for Mawson to be sat sideways now. And Vex almost getting clattered by Asbo at the same time. However, Wayne G is still in the lead of the race, still being chased down by Ice Chan. Ice Chan went for the softs on the first stint, so he's looking very racy indeed at the moment. Is Vex ever going to find his way back into this race? We'll have to wait and find out. So Thomas currently in 3rd on the hards. He's lost a bit of time to the 2 cars ahead, Chan and Too Fast. Dan Bailey finds himself up to 4th place now. So Mawson only losing a couple of positions, still currently running in 6th place. He's on the medium tyres as well for the first stint. I think he ran the softs in the first stint last time. Did he go no, he went medium soft, didn't he? Then we have Clutch there in 7th place. Pickle is in 8th. Asbo picks up a second's worth of penalty in 9th. And then Vexed, a country mile behind now in 10th place. He's going to have to really work to get back into this race and make up any positions. And Chan now goes for the move on Wayne G, looking up the inside into turn 1. He's going to get that car stopped. I think he has. He managed to move ahead. He's actually gone deep. That's allowed Wayne G back through. Wayne G retakes the lead of the race. Ice Chan back down to 2nd place. Thomas coming under increasing attention from Dan Bailey behind in 3rd. Obviously Dan Bailey on the softer compound, so he should at this stage be slightly faster. And at the moment, Thomas watching the battle unfold between Chan and Wayne G. Closes right up through that right-hander. Very good through the windy bits, the Lamborghini seems to be. Wayne G having to cover off that inside line, shows Chan the long way round. Will Chan get a switch back here? He's looking for it. Maybe getting a better momentum on the exit, not quite alongside, through the left-hander. We've got another left-hander coming up with a hard braking zone. Will Chan be able to go for a move up the inside here? Actually thinks better of it. Still chasing Wayne G down the start finish. I think we may see another move come into turn 1. We'll have a quick on board once again. So So Wendy covers the inside this time, shows Chan the long way round. Is Chan going to be able to get it done? He's past him, he has got past. But Wayne G coming back through two. Retakes that position. So these two I think are going to be swapping positions for the next few laps. Ice Chan hunting for that inside line into this next left-hander. Manages to get that car stopped, slots back in behind Waney. And look how close the other cars are behind now as well. Thomas has managed to get back onto the back of the Lamborghini. He has also got Dan Bailey for company, and then we also have Blood Diamond in the mix. Oh, Blood Diamond's driven off track. What happened to Blood Diamond there? We just got to have a quick look at that and see what happened to Blood Diamond. So comes around this left-hander and just dips a wheel onto the grass there, which just unsettled the car. He's had to take the slip road. So now Mawson, with a bit of free air ahead of him, back up into 5th place. Can he get onto the back of the top 4? He had such a great start. It was just a shame, or just unfortunate. He was a passenger in the incident with Vexed. Just a racing incident, I feel. Obviously with the light fading around Interlagos as well, there's not too many floodlights. In fact, I don't think we can see any floodlights around the track, so it does make picking up your braking markers that little bit harder. And also when you're sandwiched between two cars, it's also not ideal. So Mawson starting to drop back into the clutches of Clutch, who is on the racing soft, so he is going to be looking to be quite fast. He's being chased down by Pickle. We'll walk with Pickle for a minute. Is he going to be able to seize an opportunity here to take a position away from Clutch? And he is. He's going to have a look up the inside. Actually manages to brake a little bit later, which wins him the position. So Pickle now in the GR Supra, looking to try and get onto the back of the Ford GT of Mawson ahead. And that Ford GT looks fantastic in the dark. Look at them side lights. They're a thing of beauty. Definitely does help to accentuate the lines of the car. Oh, Pickle going a little bit deep in the final turn. That's allowed Clutch back through. Clutch retakes 6th place. So we now have Wendy G in the lead still. Ice Chan in 2nd. Thomas is 3rd. Dan Bailey 4th. Mawson 5th. Clutch is in 6th. We have Pickle 7th. Blood Diamond's 8th. Then we have Asbo in 9th place, some way off the back of Blood Diamond now. Jason and Vexed still trying to get on to the back of the other cars. Blood Diamond now with the fastest lap, 1:33.8. Was Ice Chan almost had a sneaky look up the inside once again on Wayne G. How long them softs going to last though? The mediums on Wayne's car definitely look a lot better at this stage. Is Chan going to start suffering with a little bit of traction issues and maybe some understeer? I think around the left hand is going to want to drift out a little bit wide. So Clutch is now into the pits. He's going for a relatively early pit stop. Only 8 minutes in. Asbo has managed to get past him. Will Vex be able to do the same? He may come out just ahead of Vexed. In fact, I think Vexed is going to get the position. Clutch still in the pits at the moment. There we go, straps on a fresh set of medium compound tyre, and he's going to exit the pits behind Vexed. So Vexed up to 9th now. Clutch will re-emerge in 10th place. Not too far behind though, he's only a few seconds back. So if he can keep that distance, he should surely retake that position once Vex pits. Wayne G, as he did in the first race, after a few laps just seems to be able to pull away. He's created a nice bit of breathing space. Back to Chan now. Chan, who is coming under increasing attention from Thomas. I think the softs on that Lamborghini are going to have to come off very soon for a fresh set of mediums. It looks like he is going into the pits. So Thomas is free now to try and chase down Wayne G on that hard compound tyre. Wayne G's mediums aren't going to go for too much longer. But you see Thomas. It sounded like Wayne G having a bit of a slide through turn 1 and 2. Has he lost any time there? I think he may. Yeah, he's definitely lost time. I think maybe just locking them wheels up under braking. He's actually 1.8 seconds down through that split. We heard the tyres screeching. We didn't quite see it happen, but Thomas has closed right up once again. He's also got Dan Bailey not too far behind. I don't think he's going to be picking up the toe just yet, but it won't be too long before he does. He's actually managed to create a couple of attempts back to Dan now as well. But Dan Bailey now up to 3rd place. Mawson back up to 4th. And not far off Dan Bailey as well, so having a great recovery race at the moment is Mawson. Pickle finds himself in 5th, courtesy of the pit stops. Asbo is now 6th. We have Chand in 7th, not far ahead of Blood Diamond, who is currently 8th. Blood Diamond on that warm set of medium tyres. Vex managing to keep the gap consistent back to Clutch. And I think he is starting to catch the cars ahead slowly. So Clutch now out on fresh mediums. He's looking to try and get onto the back of the cars ahead. But there is some noticeable gaps now throughout the field. You can see the top four all relatively close to each other, and then we have a straggler in 5th, that's Pickle, in a bit of no man's land at the moment. Oh, and I think Chand has just managed to get a pass done on Asbo. What can Asbo do here? Can he use the slipstream of Chand to stay ahead of Blood Diamond before he has to pit? Because they will be pitted around the same time, surely. Currently running in 7th place in the BRZ. I think he's already lost the toe to Chand. Chand on the fresh set of medium tyres. Not far off Blood Diamond's fastest time. 1:33.8 for Blood Diamond. 1:33.9 is Chand's previous lap. So Pickle still yet to go in the pits, and the top four also still yet to pit. So Wayne G. Oh, and there goes Thomas. So Thomas going for an early pit stop on the hards. That's released Dan Bailey up into 2nd place. Moulton's back up into 3rd. And look at the gap these guys have to the rest of the field. So Pickle now filters into the pits. Yeah, the top three some way ahead of the rest of the field. They are still yet to pit, so that may bring them back or bring the gap closer. So Ice Chand up into 4th place. I think that was Thomas. We could just see filtering out of the pits now, and he is. So not too far behind Chand is Thomas. Chand had to pit early. He ran the softs in the first stint. They're both on the same compound now, but Thomas's are a few laps younger. Oh, and Blood Diamond picks up a 2nd's worth of penalty. That isn't going to help Jason too much. And his tyres look a little bit worse for wear at the moment as well. I'm sure he's going to be looking to get rid of them in the next couple of laps. Still the fastest lap at the moment. He was on lap 2. So Vex finding himself in 7th place now, still out on the mediums. His pit stop will be coming shortly. So Clutch, he's on the fresher set of tyres. He should surely get that position. It looks like he's pulled Vex back in as well. The gap has closed once again. Winnie G and Dan Bailey now into the pits. Mawson becomes new race leader. His favoured track position stayed out on that set of mediums. He'll be surely going on to softs for the end of the race. Winnie G re-emerges on the soft compound tyre. In 3rd place. So Pickle now in 8th. Asbo down to 9th, but he has got a fresh set of soft tyres. Blood Diamond coming out of the pits just behind. So that is crucial. Blood Diamond's not going to have too much of a gap to try and close to Asbo. But that is quite a gap to the other cars. Pickle has now pit. He's out on a fresh set of softs. Clutch on the mediums. So Vex still on that heavily worn set of mediums. He'll surely be going on to softs. I imagine he'll pit at the end of this lap. Mawson now into the pits. That's going to really release Ice Chand. Or has Mawson got enough of a gap? It's a very long pit stop, this one, around Interlagos. Dan Bailey on a fresh set of softs. So Ice Chand has moved through. Thomas has moved through. Wayne G moves through. Mawson gets his tyres changed. I think Dan Bailey, yeah, Dan Bailey just about, is he? No, Moulton is coming out of the pits now. You can just see it on the track map in the top right. Vexed is now into the pits. And Dan Bailey does get a position. But Moulton out just behind. Look at that gap. Is he going to have enough of an advantage on them few laps younger softs to be able to retake that position? I think he might, you know. I think it's looking good at the moment for Moulton. The tyres on that Subaru, not too old yet, but they're going to be starting to feel a little bit worse for wear. In the next few minutes. So Wayne G on the softs now as well. Still well on the back of Thomas. Thomas, who now has the fastest lap, 1:32.794. And Chand also on the mediums, but they're a lot more worn at this stage than Thomas is. I think he's going to have a defensive race on his hands if he wants to hold first place. And look, like, Wayne G going really deep in the background there. A little bit squirrely through turn 1 and 2. Thomas closing right up to the Lamborghini momentarily. Is he just going to try and put the pressure on to Chand ahead, or will he try and set a move up? On board with Thomas for just a second. I think the next right-hander coming up can sometimes be a good opportunity if you can get up the inside of the car you're chasing. It wasn't to be that time round. Are we going to see it along the back straight, down the start finish? So Chan looking like he's definitely still got pace in them tyres. How long can he hold Thomas off? Yeah, Wayne G has definitely lost a couple of attempts to the two cars ahead. He had a slight moment, didn't he, on the previous lap through this next twisty sector, through the centre S. Ice Chan comes off the inside. He is playing the defensive game now. He knows that Thomas is edging ever closer, and his tyres are going to end up dropping off a cliff anytime soon. They're going to be starting to feel a little bit shady at this stage. Oh, and here comes Thomas now, tries to have a look around the outside, isn't going to quite get it done that time round. Can he have a look through this next sector? Wayne G closing up the gap once again as well. I think Wayne G thought he had an opportunity there to go for a move on Thomas, but it wasn't to be. But these three have come really close once again. I think it could be anyone's race at this stage. 22 minutes in, 3 to go. I think we may see another 2, maybe 3 laps from the faster drivers. So Ice Chan covering the inside once again. He moves over to take the racing line. Will Thomas have a look up the inside into turn 1? Not that time round. Has he gone a little bit deep? Did that open the door there nearly to Wayne G? Almost. Wow, too fast. That was an interesting line from Too Fast. Will it give him a penalty? And it does. Too Fast, a whole second there. That is going to hurt him. That is going to pull him right out of this battle for the lead of the race. as Thomas tries to take an interesting line, tries to get a switchback there on Wayne G, on Ice Chan, sorry, in first place, but that opened the door to Wayne G. Wayne G gets the move done in the RX Vision. He's now onto the back of Chan, looking to try and take the position before he has to serve that penalty. Not wanting to lose too much time. He's going to lose the position eventually anyway, but if he can try and create a bit of a gap to Thomas and Chand, if he manages to get past Chand, then he's not going to do it, is he? He's not going to get it done. He's going to lose that position once again to Thomas. Thomas closes up through the braking zone. You can see the penalty bar starting to fill up for Wayne. There we go, slowing his car down. Thomas is released once again, and he's going to have somewhat of a gap over Wayne. Wayne is going to have lost that slipstream now. Can Thomas get onto the back of Chad once again though and challenge for the lead of the race? He took the win in the first one. And Mawson managing to get past Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey, has he had a moment somewhere? Them tyres have faded on that Subaru. Mawson will surely finish in fourth, but can he salvage a third place? Wayne G on the soft tyres, having a couple of little moments here and there. Dropped him out of the battle for first place. And you can see Mawson is very close indeed. This may be a battle for third as well. Coming into the dying stages of this second race, the final race of the evening. What a turnout for the books this one has been, and this is indeed the final lap. These guys are now coming through the final sector. Or into the final sector now through that split. Is this going to be the final opportunity for Thomas to get a move done? We saw him get it done here before in race one. Is he close enough this time round? I think he might be. Ice Chand. Can he hold that first place? Can he make it a win here in Interlagos? There's going to be a drag race up to the start finish. Has Thomas got enough left in that Porsche to be able to get a move done? He's going to move out. It's going to be a third finish. Oh, Chan gets the win in the end. GG's Chan. Thomas takes second place. Wayne G will take third. Mawson almost caught him there. Fourth place for Mawson. Dan Bailey, them tyres have died a death on that Subaru. Dan Bailey, fifth place. Clutch will finish in sixth. That's a decent outing there for Clutch. GG's, mate. That's some decent points. Blood Diamond finishes seventh in the end, or he will do once he comes around this final kink. I guess that's the final turn there, isn't it? That left-hander. Seventh place for Jason. And then we've got Asbo. Asbo's tyres also died a death. And in the background there, will Vex get the move done on Pickle? No, he doesn't. So Asbo 8th, Pickle was 9th, and then we had Vex coming in 10th in the end. And that was a photo finish between them two. I think it was only 100th in it as they crossed the line. But there we go, guys. That was race 2. I'll be back same time, same place next week. See you then. Good night.